are giving opportunity of employment to 250,000 of the unemployed, especially the young men who have dependents, to let them go into forestry and flood prevention work. That is a big task because it means feeding and clothing and caring for nearly twice as many men as we have in the regular army itself. And in creating this civilian conservation corps, we are killing two birds with one stone. We are clearly enhancing the value of our natural resources, and at the same time we are relieving an appreciable amount of actual distress. This great group of men, young men, have entered upon their work on a purely voluntary basis. No military training is involved, and we are conserving not only our natural resources, but also our human resources. One of the great values to this work is the fact that it is direct and requires the intervention of very little machinery.
The necessity of certain helpful remedial measures. These measures are of two kinds. The first is to make provisions intended to relieve, to minimize, and to prevent future unemployment. The second is to establish the practical means to help those who are unemployed in the present emergency. Our Social Security legislation is an attempt to answer the first of these questions, and our work relief program the second. We're losing no time in getting the government's vast work relief program underway.
Oh, I love looking at this stuff again.
I loved the history of Giant City State Park and the CCC and what they did. It also saved people from their economic plight. A lot of these guys, from talking to people and reading, was that this was the thing that saved them. That a lot of men whose crops were failing, whose houses were bought on loan, all these things were failing them. But the CCC came in and kind of gave this economic boost to the area and also gave them another chance to have some income. And it gave them valuable skills to go out into the workforce. A lot of them became masons because of this, did a lot of masonry work and stone work, because that was another big thing about the CCC is they did a lot of stone work, the Giant City State Lodge.
So the first order of business at all the camps, Giant City and all the camps throughout Southern Illinois, was roads. Otherwise, they weren't even going to get the men there. They weren't going to get the trucks there. They weren't going to get, so they started working on the roads, and that required engineers.
A lot of the work was building roads in rural areas. Many, if not most, of the young men who were hired to work with the CCC were from rural areas themselves. Large parts of America were inaccessible, and this was one of the ways to open up, and particularly in state parks, because they worked on government lands. That's an important point to me. They're working on government lands. They were not using eminent domain to take over private property or do anything of that sort. So they had free rein to build roads.
That looks to me like a foreman laying on them rocks. So I was showing the CCC boy behind how to do the job. And the main thing to do with them rocks, if you'll notice, you go out there, that some of these walls are straight up, but some of them are sloped back a little bit.
Yes.
Then you just pick up a rock and try to fit in that spot. If you want it, if you don't fit there, grab another rock. Just keep moving them rocks around till they fit where you want them.
are using mainly unskilled labor here. These guys digging with hoes and out in the woods, you know, in all those camps, they're planting trees, they're taking down buildings, they're erasing roads, they're making trails. This is all real hard outdoor work in the woods.
Someone went to the lodge though. Because I wanted to, because I had friends up there. Right.
That's a great thing, I think. Then you got to learn all sorts of jobs and.
Give you a lot of good experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was supposed to be all about.
Lodge coming out there.
That's the beginning of the lodge?
That's it, right there. That's where we started. Poured the concrete dugout, poured the concrete footing. The boys are bringing the rocks out of the ground right there. And I was told that after that barge was completed, there's only one stone placed wrong. They got placed in there according to the grain in the stone, and only one stone in the whole building was wrong.
Do you know which one it is?
It's a red stone, dark red. And we had to figure that because somebody cut a corner off on it. And we passed us out. Yeah, I guess we worked for days on that one rock because we wanted a big rock. But there are bigger rocks in the arches that they were cut with a machine. They had finally got their hammer and they were shaping the machine. That's a hand-shaped rock.
You all shaped it?
Yeah.
Weren't most of them shaped at the quarry, or
No,
more work was
they-
done on the site?
They brought them in and dumped them right north of the lodge. Like when I was laying stone, I'd have about 4 boys that were cutting stone for me. I'd tell them what size I wanted, they'd go out and cut the stone I wanted, the size I wanted. You know those hinges that's on those doors down there? It's got the indentations on them. That's all done by hand. You can see the Devil's Stand table from the road down there in Garden City. This hole here used to hold water.
We used to get us a case of beer. And open water on top of that sand table. We get us a case of beer. Jump over there on top of the sand table. Set up that and drink beer.
Now there is a dedication of the lodge. Henry
Oh,
Martin dedicated.
all right. Would they build some kind of grandstand for
They
it?
built a little stand at the place that we get out to.
Oh, right off of the one of the wings.
Right off the north end.
Did everybody come from all around?
It looked like everybody from around here. And here's a bunch of people starting to congregate that day.
There wasn't much around it. It was kind of
No.
bare around it.
Well, at that they tore down the barracks.